Good morning, kids. I know it's been quite a while that I've not been in touch with you with the lectures. Actually, because of the work schedule in other classes, the Zoom schedule in other classes, it had become a little hectic. So I really apologize for that. Now let us start with the next chapter. Rather, when we talk from the examination point of view, this is the last chapter of economics, and the chapter is called as Globalization of Indian Economy. It's again one of my favorite chapters because me or your parents, we have seen these changes. We have seen those times wherein we were yeah, what you say, yeah, a primitive economy, and from a primitive economy, from a regressive economy, now we are moving ahead to become a progressive economy. And because of the lockdown, because of issues, now we have not only become a progressive economy, but most of us have also become very high tech, right? So this adaptability from one level of technology to another level of technology has been made possible only and only because of globalization. Now, you people have been eating, McDonald's, Subway. These are not Indian brands, right? You are wearing fast and fashion products like H&M, Levi's, Zara, using an Apple phone. All this has been made possible only and only because of globalization. Now, globalization was the third stage of the story of India's development. Now, let me take you back. Now, again, I'm a big fan of Bollywood movies. I love them. So let me just take you back, into this era that, your parents might have witnessed, because at that point of time we were kids, right? Now, हमारे time पे we used to have only one channel. That was our Doordarshan channel. It was saying tee nee 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 nee, that kind of a channel. Okay, so it was a zero TV era. Mobiles, internets were not even heard of. We had never thought of a scenario wherein we are going to make a call to say 40, 50 people sitting at our place, and we will be able to see what they are doing. All this has been made possible only and only because of globalization. Again, let me bring you back to that era when we were kids. At that point of time, that is my this is I'm talking about the post independence economic policy. Okay, now, what kind of a policy government, what kind of an economic policy did government have? See, a country is determined by the type of economic policies which are determined by its what you say, the leaders, right? Now, if we talk about this North Korea and South Korea, they are two distinct economies altogether. One of them has been ruled by a woman, or rather has been managed by a woman. There's a democracy there, there is no autocratic state, as a result of which they have almost overcome the issue of coronavirus, and they have given us a model, a success rate, a success model, a success path which all of the countries are following. So they've become a role model for everybody. On the other hand, the other type of economy is very regressive. It's not progressive at all, right? And there they are not even letting it out that how many people are having this virus and what is the strategy that the government is using. Is there any bailout package? The other day when I was going through the news, they said that today also, people are using bullock carts, and people are using the primitive methods of transportation in North Korea, because of the fact that they have been ruled by the autonomous king, right? So see, there is a difference between an economy. Uh, the economy which is backward and primitive, you know, is a regressive economy, and the economy which is forward, progressive, though it might not be really developed, but at least it has followed the path of being developed, is progressive economy. Now, the story of globalization of our country is the story of our transformation from a regressive economy to a progressive economy. Now, let us see this. What happened after independence? Now, all these Angrej people or the Britishers, when they went away, Now, they took away all our wealth, that was quite understood. At the same time, they forced India to be a part of the Second World War. So, India was completely drained out at that point of time. And most of our people were completely dependent on agriculture. So, India was a primitive economy and it was completely an agrarian based economy. Let us start our story from there. So, my story begins from post independence era. So, primarily, India was a primitive economy. Second, it was agricultural based economy. So, can I say it was an agrarian economy? Thirdly, it was a primitive economy, it was an agrarian economy, and it was completely drained out. This was a time when China had attacked our country. Uh, Pakistan had attacked us. So it was at this time that the emphasis was more on agriculture and the emphasis was more on warfare. So we had this nara of Jai Jawan and Jai Kisan. So emphasis was more on agriculture and emphasis was more on warfare. Now it was important. The leaders thought that we need to generate alternative professions. We need to shift from primary sector based economy to at least a secondary sector based economy. So the government started shielding some of the indigenous industrialists. Okay. Now, as a result of this, the government came up with certain trade policies, economic policies. Okay. So, um, now at that point of time, again, we were very primitive. India was an agrarian economy. Most of the people were completely dependent on agriculture, right? Becoming food sufficient was really important. We were backward technologically. So we were technologically backward. So we were called as a third world economy and we were drained out. मतलब हम लोगों के पास पैसा नहीं था. We were completely drained out. Now, so this was our post-independence era. And why were we drained out? First of all, obviously, like we say, Britishers took away everything that we had. They never gave us a chance to educate ourselves. And we were also following the Bhedchal or the demonstration effect. We also never thought our method of education was British India education. That was more emphasis was given on literature rather than skill development, technical development, and so on. Okay? So now at this point of time, we were technically not sound because our education did not allow us to be technically sound. We were completely drained out of money. There was famine and influenza, as usual. Bengal famine is a very known, thing in the history. Now, the other thing was that India was attacked by its neighbors. So more emphasis was putting in pumping in resources into agriculture and pumping in resources into strengthening the defense system. और डिफेंस सिस्टम स्ट्रेंथन इसके लिए भी नहीं हो पा रहा था या ज़्यादा पैसे इसके लिए ले रहा था बिकॉज वी वर importing everything from outside. So we were exporting grains which were relatively cheaper and importing technology which was very, very expensive. So far, so good. Now, it was this time when, our leaders decided that we need to strengthen our industrialists. And in order to strengthen our industrialists, they came up with an economic policy. Now, this economic policy was restrictive in nature. So, let us talk about post-independence Iraqi economic policies. economic policy was restrictive in nature. What do you mean by being restrictive in nature? Oops. What do you mean by being restrictive in nature, guys? Restrictive in nature means that there were many rules and regulations, and it was very difficult for a new person, for an individual to thrive and to make his place as an industrialist in this era because of all sorts of rules and regulations.